Ayo, Bear Down Breeze Nation. Bear down, bear down, bear down. Let's get them bear downs in the chat. How y'all feeling? As always, it is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Joined by the Brody Bro, Mr. Two. Oh no, I'm sorry. Wrong guy. Hold on.
Wow.
The pettiest man alive.
That's what we on?
He finna get real petty right now. P.Kidd is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. How you feeling, my boy?
That's what we on already, huh?
We started off on a bad. We started off on a bad note.
All right, listen. All right,
Breeze family, Breeze family. It has been a day. It's been a day, and the simple question on the table that I want to ask y'all. First things first, y'all already know. Like the video, subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. We don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. And this is the only channel that's talking Chicago sports. How Chicago talk. So get in tune with us, man. Get in tune with us. The question on the table today. After the cutting of Cam Newton, are the Chicago Bears holding back Justin Fields?
Pat, you know what I just realized?
What's up?
I signed into the wrong thing.
Okay.
I'm clicking. I can't click or highlight none of these comments.
Oh, that's all right. You here now. You here now. We gotta have a conversation.
You like, why did I mess up the show to say that? Listen.
Yeah, I don't know. I was confused. It's all good though.
Hey, listen, whatever. It's the only way I can communicate to you. We talk how we talk. They came to join us, all right? So at the end of the day, get your boy, man. Get your boy. That's your boy. That's your man's right there. You see what Belichick did? Cam, you know what? It's not gonna really work. It's not gonna really work.
He absolutely hit Cam with the hey, listen, it's not us, it's you.
Listen. You're not gonna be on the bench. You're not a bench guy. But I can't start you. So I think cutting you is the best thing we can do for you. You go find somewhere else where you could just be Cam Newton, Mac Jones guy. I mean, that's how he did it, right? That's really what he did. But you, Mr. Matt Nagy, get your mans.
Yeah.
Get your mans. I'm pointing to the camp. You. I want you to feel this in your soul, Pat. That's your guy. That's your guy. So if we start off 0-3 and it goes, this season just shot the crap, it's your fault. Because you're a Matt Nagy guy, not a Ryan Pace guy. It's your fault.
I love how not only have I come on here and said Matt Nagy should be fired multiple times, but also he's a bad offensive play caller. But somehow he's still my guy. Like, no matter what.
And the chat will say it every debate. You stick up for Matt Nagy because you believe in Matt Nagy.
I stick up for Matt Nagy more than I do Ryan Pace. Yes, 100%.
Okay, so as I drink my coffee,
hey, listen. As Ryan Pace cut 75% of our cornerbacks 2 weeks before the season, yeah, I'm leaning more towards Matt Nagy. but he
ain't cut Javon Williams though.
He did cut Javon Williams.
Matt Nagy didn't cut Javon Williams. Pace did.
Shout out to you, Ryan Pace. I think the Bears as a collective cut Javon Williams. The whole organization said you got to go, my boy.
The whole city said no.
Whole city. They knew they couldn't bring him back. No, I mean, listen. I feel like this is a good conversation. If y'all in here, man, and y'all haven't done so, hit that like button, man, so that we can get a bunch of people in here to have this conversation. All the Bears family. I think this is a good conversation to have because I want to pose to y'all a question, right? And I know, listen, I value the fans' opinion a lot more than I'm sure most players do, most coaches do, because they think, well, you think like a fan. I think that as fans, we understand more so now than ever before what we're seeing on the field because we have people that can break it down to us that we can sit and watch that have played the game on a consistent basis. It's not just John Madden talking about, he had caught that pass in the end zone. That would have been a touchdown. And then poor Pat Summerall just, thanks, John. Appreciate that in-depth breakdown. But here's the question that I want to ask to the chat. Here's the question that I want to ask the kid to start things off because of everything we've seen. In Chicago, we've never seen a franchise quarterback developed. In Chicago, we've never even seen a 4,000-yard passer. In a league that the guys that we call trash on a consistent basis do it. We've never seen a 4,000-yard passer.
Never
in Bears history. The team that created the quarterback position has never been able to figure out the quarterback. The one time they did, the offensive line was at its worst, and I believe that's on a on the Jay Cutler tip. I'm more of a fan of Cutler than most. I like to Jay. I think that if you protect, I think that he made some boneheaded plays, but I think if you protect him, he does some better things. Jim McMahon's probably the best we've ever seen on film in a Bears jersey. And so I ask y'all, because the way we've done it has always been get the young guy, start the young guy. Get the young guy, put him in. Always root for the backup. Always look to the backup. Always look to the newest guy in the room because he might be the savior. And no matter what, he's better than the starter that's in there.
Can I just drop one little stat real quick?
Go ahead.
You know how many quarterbacks we've had since we won the Super Bowl?
44? 45. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we've had Barack Obama amount of presidents since
45, dog.
Yeah. And so this is what I really want to ask the chat. We've never seen it developed. We've never seen it done. And the way that we want to put Justin Fields out there is the way that we've always done it. What if Matt's way is the way that finally gets it done? I'm not saying that I agree. I'm not saying that I think that Andy Dalton gives us the better chance to win games now. But we've never seen a franchise quarterback developed in Chicago. What if the way that Matt is going about it, and listen, as much as we rag on Matt Nagy, as much as we want to not give him credit for what he did in Kansas City and as a play caller, I think he's horrible. Matt Nagy's seen a franchise quarterback develop. Matt Nagy has seen multiple franchise quarterbacks.
What if, with you.
What if Matt has the way?
The problem is Matt Nagy is a victim of his own ego.
I agree.
And so, it's interesting. I had this conversation with a nice P1 here. Chris been talking back and forth. Shout out to Chris. Ego can blind you from the reality. And the reality is, on several instances, ego cost him Mitch Trubisky. Everyone can say whatever you want to say. Biscuits was a little more serviceable than put on. Ego ultimately allowed him to be okay with the 6-game losing streak while we had a pretty decent hot team. No matter what, we've never seen him develop a QB here.
Facts.
That's basically what I'm saying. And on top of that, even when he went out and got someone he was comfortable with, he didn't set that person up for success. 100%. He set him up for failure. And so he's not done a good job here. And so I look at Matt Nagy as someone who is a great number 2, maybe a great number 3, but he's definitely not a head coach. And so because of that, he's an assistant at most, a development coach, whatever you want to say. He's great at those things, and that's probably where he excels. He could be the Michael Jordan of that position, but he's not the Michael Jordan.
So what would you call Mike Tomlin then?
Mike Tomlin?
Yeah. Mike Tomlin does nothing when it comes to play calling. Mike Tomlin does not. He handles culture and he handles development. I would say that Mike Tomlin's a pretty freaking good head coach.
He does a great job at both of them. And to be honest with you, a good leader, a good manager, a good CEO is someone that doesn't try to wear all the hats. That's something I'm trying to learn, basically, right? When you are stuck trying to do it all, real CEOs, real businessmen, real business owners, they work on their business, not in. Matt Nagy is working in his business too much. He's the head coach of the Chicago Bears, but he's trying to do play calling. You have somebody for that.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him for that. I blame him because he's terrible at it.
But that's what I'm saying.
I blame him because he's really bad at it. But there's a lot of Andy Reid calls his plays. Josh McDaniels, well, when he was a head coach, called his plays. You know what I'm saying? Bill Belichick calls plays for the D. Like there's a lot of guys that have that guy with the title in name alone. Matt Nagy was that guy.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it. The problem is those guys fell on their face early and bounced back and succeeded. He fell on his face and he ain't really did much to make amends for that. It's an interesting thing. I'll tell you this. It goes back to this Cam Newton and Mac Jones thing.
Yeah,
I heard the story about the time that Belichick had the chance to start Brady and didn't, and it was almost a catastrophic mistake. Brady almost potentially wouldn't have been the Brady we see today because of that, right? But it ended up working out. Some believe that his willingness to cut Cam early, let Mac Jones start, is a lot about him not making that mistake now because Mac Jones is ready, right? Now,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, I wouldn't start Mac Jones if I was worried about his health, right? That's a lot of unknowns on that team still too.
Yeah.
But guess what? He performed better. The team rallied around him. His energy there. It's you could hurt that player by not starting him. I really feel like Matt Nagy, although he has a plan and it may work out, he has to understand there's not Alex Smith in front of Fields. Alex Smith was balling. Alex Smith is a baller,
Yeah.
right? He's a serviceable. He was doing his thing. It's clear. It's a reason why Patrick Mahomes started behind that guy,
Yeah.
right? That's not Aaron. That's not
He
Andy.
was a double-digit winner 3 years in a row, and also was a Pro Bowler, by the way. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler. On top of
Hey,
that,
look, not a Mitch Trubisky Pro Bowler, by the way, either. Like he earned that one.
hey, listen, he was worth it, and Andy hasn't had that level of success in a while. I'm not saying he's not a service book. No analyst has sat here and said that Andy Dalton sucks, and I have
No,
been one to
it's
say
literally
that he's not.
all you hear with the conversation is literally like, listen, I'm not taking a shot at Andy,
Exactly.
but Justin is better
Fields
for
is a better QB.
and here's the thing, and I don't even know if I'll go that far yet, because this is the thing that I look at with the Patriots situation, comparing it to the Bears, because it is a good situation. Like the video if y'all agree, like the video if you disagree, just like the video. The Patriots situation to me is interesting because Cam Newton is probably still the better quarterback than Mac Jones is. Even with all that we've seen, Cam Newton is probably still the better quarterback than Mac Jones is. But here's where Bill makes his decision. Cam Newton is not the better quarterback for the Patriots system, for the Patriots team. That team was built to be with a player that is Tom Brady. Like, I'm not saying Mac Jones is going to be that, but that is Tom Brady build, kind of stand back in the pocket. Listen, we're going to develop our O-line. We're going twin tight ends. We're going to have a lot of options on check down. Not going to be a ton of receivers out here just yet. We're going to get those guys. But Cam Newton needs a team that is built for, I'm a ground and pound guy. I'm going to be able to punch you in the mouth when I need to. Sometimes I'm going to be able to use my arm, but my arm is not the focus of this offense. Bill Belichick didn't want that. Bill Belichick didn't build his team for that. Mac Jones is the better quarterback for that system. To that point,
I'm actually willing to say that Mac Jones, and they've talked all day about this, so I'm not trying to take a shot at you, but they talked all day. That team was built for Cam Newton. It really was. That team was built for Cam Newton and what he should be now, given that that you're worried about his health and stuff like that. All those moves that they made those moves before draft day. They made a lot of moves afterwards, but they put a lot of things in motion before draft day. They really didn't know they were going to get Mac Jones.
Yeah,
they really didn't know.
Well, I mean, there wasn't a ton of, like, everybody was trying to hype Mac up late, but there was never a chance Mac was going to go before Fields. There was never a chance he was going to go before Trevor Lawrence. There was never a chance he was going to go, because the Jets just fell in love with Zach Wilson, and that was the one that you had to question. Zach Wilson was the question, and Trey Lance. Zach Wilson was your real question, because the Jets had a lot of interest in Mac Jones, but they also had a better offensive line to stick in front of him. Mm-hmm. So really, like the thing is, like, with Cam's style of play, you want to have that. I don't know if y'all remember Robbie Anderson or just somebody bigger that can go get it, because Cam isn't gonna hit you dead center all the time. You need that guy. You need a Steve Smith, somebody that maybe he's smaller, but he's gonna be able to go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Cam's style. There's nobody on that Patriots team that's that guy. They barely have receivers. I mean, hopefully some of the guys turn into something, but I mean, when you look at it, it's just like, all right, well,
Belichick is known for making something out of nothing, though.
Absolutely, but listen, Tom Brady's also known for making something out of nothing too. It's a lot easier when you got Brady back there.
Brady
But
was nothing at one
to
point.
me,
Is the problem?
well, to me,
Brady
with
is a product of a Belichick system, and so I have more faith in Belichick having long term success than Brady.
and yet Brady don't have enough. He don't got enough time left. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
And
saying?
yet
Like it's not a shock.
Brady still got the other ring already. You know what I'm saying? He's already won up to Bill. Now Bill's
Yeah,
trying to
but
play
he
catch.
went to a situation where he got to call all the shots. It wasn't limited to Cap and stuff like that.
Hey,
Brady bet the
when you get
farm.
6, you can do that.
Hey, but Brady bet the farm on to get those 6 rings. They spent a lot of money. They won, and he himself says it. Hey, we had this down season because we had no money. And
Hey,
so
you know
so
what?
now I give it 2-3 years, but he's going to be back winning championships if he stays within the sport.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, we're going to be
I
talking
don't think
about
Bill.
yeah,
I think they were good for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
I think that Bill can win a lot of games with a Drew Bledsoe. I think that Bill can win a lot of games with a Jimmy Garoppolo. But at the end of the day, are you winning as many championships without a Tom Brady? That's kind of I don't see Bill getting 6 in football. Like in football, that's unheard of. Like, especially as a quarterback, like I don't see Bill getting 6 without Brady there. They needed each other to survive. But the point I was making wasn't even about that situation. To me now, looking at the Bears, Andy Dalton is probably the better quarterback than Justin Fields. And I want y'all to remember, because listen, we love Justin here, right? We all Justin hype, and I'm fine with that. I love him too. I want the man to. I'm trying to come out on some Stephen A. Smith stuff. You know what I'm saying? I talked to the brother personally. We've had lunch together. We have sipped wine out of the same bottle. You know, I'm trying to get on that level. Here's my thing with Justin. Justin is not the better quarterback because he just hasn't done it. If you look at that preseason game, the offense was horrible until that touchdown pass. I mean, it was like 120 yards to 36. But Justin is the better quarterback for this team the way that it's constructed, just like Mac Jones is the better quarterback for his team the way that it's constructed. Because when you have a struggling offensive line and you think you at least have stability with Jason Peters at left tackle, that now allows you to say, hey, let's focus on the left side where Justin can't see. Justin can make a defender miss on the right side because of his speed, because of his style, because of his accuracy and his ability to make a defender overcommit. And now I can get a pass off. And he doesn't have that ability. Andy's never had that ability. Andy's had the ability to be a pocket passer in a great pocket. We don't have a great pocket for Andy to stand behind. I'm sorry. As much as we can hope and pray and look at this offensive line is not going to become a top 10 offensive line over the next 10 weeks. Juan Castillo is going to have to allow a lot of protection and add a lot of guys into that scheme that takes guys away from Andy, which again is hurting what Andy can do, because now look, I got tight ends blocking.
Now I will say this. Yeah, that's a great point. No, and realistically, if we're just to add other color, I'm probably going to say it the same way, but I can see some people in the chat going nuts.
Yeah,
Andy Dalton, with more experience, probably has a better arm right now. Is the better QB? He can.
I don't know if I say better arm.
I would say he has a better arm. Because
Andy Dalton
probably. Justin is still he's not leading his receivers. He's still kind of throwing behind it. That's a problem he had. They've already discussed it. That's you can look it up, right? So it's not like I'm hating on him, right?
Yeah.
But he can extend plays in ways Andy can't. However, Andy does make his reads faster. We saw that. He does get that ball out a little faster. Like Andy is not getting blown up the way that he did on that because he knows how to read those situations, right? So his rookie mistakes being made. So because of experience, right now he would be the better QB. If we're being fair, I get it. I've stated on this platform several times. I want Andy to do well. I think he will do well. I think with a little time, he can do it. Heck, Nick Foles looked really good when he had some time. Let's not forget, Nick Foles had 3 TDs.
Hey, look, you can't be a Super Bowl MVP and then be struggling to the threes. Like, come
on,
right. You can't be a Super Bowl MVP and be struggling against it. I'm not giving Nick Foles credit on that. Like, Nick Foles basically was playing against a bunch of dudes that's not going to be in the league tomorrow or today or right now. They're no longer in the league right now.
That also going to show you that Nick Foles is not a third string quarterback. He's not.
Nah,
He's a
he's a
little more
backup.
talented than that.
He's a backup. He's
He's
a
a
backup.
backup. He's a serviceable backup. He's not a third string quarterback.
Yeah.
He has more talent. Like realistically, if Nagy get his butt out of his behind, we have a pretty decent QB room. Like we really do. We really do. We have a mobile QB that's the future. We have a somebody who actually does. I mean, they call him the Red Rifle for a reason. Let's not get this twisted here. And Nick Foles is a Super Bowl MVP. In fact, he's the only one on the team that's won a Super Bowl.
Right. Weird to say, ain't it? So weird.
It's so weird. Your third string QB is a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild. It's so weird to say. It's still weird to even see. But
I think the best QB we've ever had?
To your point.
No, seriously, that's a weird question. Like, technically, by resume, he's the best QB we've ever had. He has a couple 3,000 plus seasons. He's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, probably.
Wow, that's crazy. We suck that bad.
He said the red pellet gun. I just think that like when I'm looking at how the team's offense is currently constructed, does Justin give the offensive line a better opportunity? Yes.
This is blowing my mind that's a factor though. Like, it's a fact. Like Nick Foles is the best QB we've technically ever had as far as resume is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the last 30, 40 years.
It's interesting because like and hopefully you'll be able to trade him, especially with all the COVID stuff going on. It's interesting because when I look at how, like I was saying, the offense is constructed, Justin gives the offensive line a better opportunity, but we still saw issues with them moving the ball. It still took time for that offense to get going. And if we're being honest, the offense never really got going until they got out of Nagy's first 15 to 20 plays, which are usually scripted. So, again, it speaks to Matt Nagy struggling as a play caller. But I will say this. You have to take some credence into the fact that Matt Nagy has been a part of developing a franchise quarterback. You have to, I mean, we can say like, we want to discredit Nagy because he's here now and he hasn't gotten us over the promised land and he hasn't gotten us to the where we're supposed to be or anywhere close to where he was supposed to be. And honestly, let's be real, he hasn't developed any of the offensive talent that he's been given. I mean, David Montgomery's his guy. He doesn't want to use him. The offensive line seems to be overlooked consistently. And when you do look at it, you go get the guy that's injured or the guy that's old or the first round failed pick on somebody else's team.
Can I ask a question in line with Mike Barber? Thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the blessings. Question to the chat as well for those who can't see it and those are we doing radio? If those on radio, in case we are, do you think Nagy can be our long-term option at head coach, or should we give someone else a shot? You want to jump in there first?
This is what I'll say. He's got to prove it. I don't think he's a good play caller. That if he's going to be the long-term option, that probably means he's giving up play calling. By the way, 91 in here, 35 likes. Come on, y'all. Show me some love. Show me a little bit of love. Show me a little bit of love. Mm-hmm. He's got to be. To me, I don't believe he is the play caller that he thinks he is. And that's going to cause the biggest issue with him continuing as a head coach. I don't believe that this will be his last year. There's no way Phil and
digging for gold there.
Not Phil. Who am I thinking? McCaskey, owner. Y'all know who I'm talking about. There's no way that the owner allows Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy to trade away what they do to go get Justin Fields if Nagy's going to be fired next season. That makes no sense. Like we can say Nagy should be fired. We can talk about Matt Nagy shouldn't be here, but it makes no sense. I was right. I said 10. Oh, George. That's what I was thinking. George. Appreciate you. George McCaskey doesn't allow that to happen. If you plan on firing him. So I think that he's your head coach, as much as people may hate it, for probably at a minimum the next 2 years, at most the next 3, if he's not successful. Like if he's mildly successful, I can see it, being the next 3. If he gets to the playoffs again with Justin, I can see it being the next 3. But we're talking about, we are talking about a coach. Listen, for the Bears fans that are ready to get him out the door, we're talking about a coach that
coach of the year.
As coach of the year, worked with Andy Reid, who's had many of these similar struggles. Who is really one of the most successful coaches we've had in our history. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can hate on him as much as we want, but I want y'all to understand there's no guarantee on the other side. What have we heard? We've heard Eric Bieniemy. We've heard name the coaches we heard. You know what I'm saying? Dabo.
Crit, thank you for the super chat. Coach T, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you all. Highlight those if you can.
Did I miss Coach T's?
I'm gonna jump into Mike Barber's question real quick. Do I think he's our long-term option at head coach? No, I think that realistically, the
over 100 in the chat.
Trubisky experiment ultimately is what allowed him to have another go, and so I think that he's on a really short leash. I really do. I think that, and I've always said this: it's harder for you to fire your GM at this point, who's made those moves to kind of turn his team around and get this type of excitement. It doesn't matter who you would credit to scouting out this person. The GM made that call and he got it done. And so that person has kind of saved his career or saved his job, so to speak. But the head coach's job is always harder because he has to develop that talent.
Yeah.
And it's clear that, like, look at the conversation we're having. The conversation we're having right now is for a rookie QB who hasn't even played one professional game yet.
Yeah.
He really hasn't played a one full regular season game yet. And look at the wave through the city that is created. And so if you look at that, you find a head coach who for some odd reason puts the clamps on that, or it starts to really take that confidence away. Oh, wholeheartedly, the organization is going to get rid of that head coach. You're not going to kill real talk. Justin Fields is a revenue generator for us. The revenue that he's bringing in right now is ridiculous. Just from hype.
To me, that doesn't stop whether he's starting or not, though.
Hey, listen,
nobody's rocking a red rifle jersey in them stands.
No one's rocking.
Unless he gets us 11 wins, and he's the reason. Coach T, no call in today. Call in tomorrow.
But realistically, if Matt Nagy for some odd reason fumbles this bag with this, then by all means, we're going to see that. So I think realistically, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Matt Nagy on a tight leash. And that's why I hope that he just does what he does well. Develop, supposedly, scout, and just let everyone else delegate. Save your job. Delegate. Because clearly you got there for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't think he's a long-term head coach if he can't get out of his way. But if he turns it around, then sure. Sure. I will jump right into Jay Crit there and get your thoughts on it. I'm going game 3. I'm going the Detroit game. For some odd reason, we like to light up Detroit. I'm going that game. I think he starts that game. I don't see him facing Aaron Donald. I don't think that's a smart move because that game, he's only played preseason. So I don't see him facing Aaron Donald. I don't see who's on Cleveland. Miles Garrett? Is it Miles Garrett? Yeah. Those two people who headhunting him, I don't want to see him in front of that. I think I see him in front of a team that doesn't have a defensive player of the year type caliber player. So
here's my problem.
It's game 4, time 4. Thank you. It's game 4.
Here's my problem with that line of thinking because I keep hearing it when it comes to Justin Fields. We don't want him out there against Aaron Donald. We don't want him out there against Myles Garrett. Have y'all seen this offensive line? Detroit's gonna get to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who else we play to see? Washington. Like, who's the team that's really gonna stand in front of that line and not get there? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see if you're holding him out because I don't want him to play Aaron Donald. That's a dumb reason to hold him out because guess what? Out of the two, The guy who has the best ability to get away from Aaron Donald is the one with sub 4.40. You know what I'm saying? Like Andy Dalton has no opportunity. And to me, I just want people. This is the thing: are we Bears fans or are we Fields? Like if we doing this the LeBron way, like just let me know. But I'm not doing it the LeBron. That's my big thing. You know what I'm saying? If y'all here for Justin Fields and that's it, I'm here. I'm here for the Chicago Bears. I want to see
Mm.
whoever they throw out there be successful. I didn't care if Mitch was successful. I wanted Mitch to be successful. You know why I wanted Mitch to be successful? He was the number 2 pick in the draft.
And he plays for the Bears.
And he played for the Bears.
Plays for the
I,
Bears.
I want Andy Dalton to be successful. I wanted Nick Foles to be successful. I wanted Jay Cutler to be successful. Heck, I used to watch Mike Glennon highlights to be like, man, this dude might be able to do it. Are we Fields fans or are we Bears fans? That is the question on the table. Because listen, it comes down to, is Matt holding him back? We won't know until we see game 1. What game will Justin start? We won't know until we see game 1. Because listen, as crazy as it sounds, if this offensive line, because we don't, what is it, 13 days until the game, something like that? The game's on the 12th of September.
13 games. 13 days.
13 days. So here's the thing that you got to look at. I don't think that offensive line is going to be great by any means, but if James Daniels out there, if Cody Whitehair is out there, if Sam Mustipher, we'll see about that. You know what I'm saying? But if they're out there, they've done an excellent job against Aaron Donald. They've actually done one of the best jobs against Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, that was with Mitch back there being able to move away from Aaron Donald when Aaron did get through, but they've done some of the better jobs against Aaron Donald. So it's going to be based on how game 1 goes. Because guess what? All these people in here that are screaming for Andy Dalton to be benched, if Andy has a good game, guess what they're going to be back in here doing? They're going to be, hey, look, it's working. I'll wait and see. Then it's Detroit. Oh, snap, it's working. I'll wait and see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get too overly one way or the other. Now, do I think that he'll play this season? I really don't. Unless Andy gets hurt or you just can't protect him.
I see him playing this season.
But if Matt and to me, if that's the case, like you'll see him play because like of what I said, you can't protect him.
Mm-hmm.
You have no ability to protect him. He has no ability to get away.
I think that not only does he play eventually, ultimately, yeah, we're all Bears fans, and I think most people are Bears fans. I think the reality is, we want our team to succeed. And we see what success looks like in today's league, and we see what other organizations are doing and how it's working. And we see that we have the potential to have that here, and we'd rather roll the dice on that.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's us. I don't think it's a Justin Fields thing. I think we saw Justin Fields like, hey, listen, mobile QB, accomplished, read defense, extends plays, smart, poised. Like, yo, that's what we need. That's what's dominating the league. Like in all actuality, we have the greatest group of QBs that we've had in history come through in the last couple of years.
But let's not look at the shiny new toy and say, let's get it now. Let's get it out the box now. Because the shiny new toy looked okay.
Shiny new toy syndrome is only a thing when you have something that's working for you. And neither one this goes back to Nagy again. Why wasn't Dalton given more reps?
Oh, 100%. And again, that's a conversation. That's a conversation that I'm willing to have because to me, you're setting Andy up for failure. And here's the thing we know about Matt, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing we know about Matt. Matt will set you up for some failure, won't he?
And then back the bus up on you.
Matt will set you up for failure.
He's going to throw you under. He'll back it up on you.
I mean, that's how Nick Foles got in last season.
Hey, listen.
Now, granted, the keys were given to Mitch, but we don't think that he was calling the best game plan for Mitch. I don't think Mitch is as good as we've seen. I think Mitch is a great backup. I think Mitch is going to have it, and I think that he proved that here. I think he proved that in the preseason game. And that preseason game lit the world on fire. You know how many backups light the world on fire? You know how excited we were to see Josh McCown get in a regular season game after watching him get in preseason and light up the twos? Because he's better than them. He's better than them. He's somewhere in the middle, though. He's in He's in the I can start for you here, but listen, when they start scheming too often, it could get ugly. He's that guy. And that's fine. But to me, when we're looking at like when Andy comes out and you're instantly booing him just because you want Justin, that's not those aren't Bears fans. Those are Justin fans. And if we doing that, just let me know. Listen, if you're a Justin fan, be a Justin fan. But you're hoping for the Bears to fail so that you can see what you want to see. And as a Bears fan, I can't do that. I don't have that ability because I don't care who's out there. Listen, if we got a what was my man last year in Denver? What was his name? Kendall Wright. Was it Kendall Wright that went out there and it was the wide receiver that played quarterback in high school? Guess what? If he's out there, guess what? I'm cheering. Please, guy. What they what's that meme where it's like Dexter praying to his locker and they just put different athletes on stun on these hoes.
Dude,
That's what we want to see.
I listen. I don't know. I think the common thread between all of us is the only reason why we're having this question come up. We're talking about the way we are.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing this. Like you notice that Bill didn't have this conversation.
You know why? Bill eliminated the conversation. That's why. Hey,
you know what I'm saying? So, in just 1 second, you notice the only reason we're having this conversation is because we have a prima donna as a head coach who doesn't make a decision and stand on it. In fact, we're only having this conversation because he did not have a QB competition like everyone else did. Everyone else did. Why won't you have a QB competition with two new QBs? I don't care how you old. Listen, since when? And I get it. I do understand football is a much different sport than all of these things. But it almost across the league in football, and almost across the league in every sport, rookies are coming in more prepared than they've ever been.
Yeah.
They have access to things that rookies of old didn't have access to. They're working with trainers that people didn't have access to back then. They're prepared. They can read coverages. They can do all of these things that you thought a vet would do. Eventually he's going to have to get game time experience. So at this point, why not? That's the only downfall. Why not? It's because he saw something work with a one-off, and it only worked with a one-off. Like realistically,
well, it worked. It worked because you had one quarterback that was already doing great. And then you added in another quarterback that was a generational talent. Like this is a different situation than the Alex Smith, Andy Dalton situation. Completely.
And who say what? Oh, you mean all right, Mahomes. Got you. No, never mind. I got you. Don't worry about it. Save.
What I say? I said Andy Dalton.
Alex Smith, Andy Dalton. I was like, what? Never mind.
No, I'm saying like comparing the two.
Got you. I got you.
Comparing the two, like Andy Dalton versus Alex Smith. Like those are two different people. Here we got a super chat. Where would Nagy and the Bears be if they didn't acquire one of the top 5 QBs in the draft? I'm gonna let you answer that real quick, kid. I'll be right back.
Got you. I'll do your thing. Personally, I think, that's a great question. Honestly, I think where would the fan base be? Because realistically, we're about to find out where we would be in the first couple games. We'd have Andy Dalton. We really would. We'd have Andy Dalton. And so where would we as an organization be? Because that's all we'd have. We'd only have Andy Dalton. We'd probably all have to just rally behind him. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for the fact that Justin slid, we had no hope at getting a good QB. Like, we really didn't. I was there. I was in a live chat. We didn't have a good feel of who we were going to land. So at this point, I just look at, to answer your question directly, and again, I appreciate you for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for it. You're about to find out for game 1 where we would be, because it probably would have shaped up the same way. I saw another comment that I really thought, and it was, would you rather have Cam Newton or Andy Dalton? I was like, yo, Cam Newton in our QB, like I know that he probably wouldn't like it, but I would absolutely love to have Cam Newton with Justin Fields right now. I really would. I really would like that idea, just for what Cam has done, how he uses his legs and stuff like that. Like, I can see that being a good influence. And Cam has always, no one has said anything bad about Cam outside of his outfits. No one has said anything about him being anything like that. No one has said, they all just said he looked like he's a villain from Batman. That's all it was, right? So
he had a Darkwing Duck thing going on for a little minute.
Hey, yeah, that was weird. But I I saw that comment, and it was just like, yeah, I can really see that being a thing. Um, Pat, I don't
I
know if
don't
you
see.
heard what
See,
I was
here's
saying.
the thing though. We got the time has passed them up quarterback, and honestly, we got a good one. If we're gonna have Fields start, you don't bring Cam in here to start. You bring Cam in here to teach Fields stuff. If
Absolutely.
you we got a good one. We got a good guy that can teach Justin a lot. And I think he is teaching Justin a lot. And I think even Justin is going to say, now, of course, everybody's going to say, oh, well, he has to say that as his teammate. Listen, Justin is learning a lot from Andy Dalton because Andy Dalton's a professional. Andy Dalton has been a professional quarterback. Andy Dalton has been a Pro Bowl quarterback. Andy Dalton has been a 4,000-yard passer. Andy
Yeah,
Dalton has been what we all hope
absolutely.
to see a glimpse of Justin Fields be. Now, the problem is he ain't been that in the postseason. You
Mm,
want to see him do that in the postseason. But there's a lot of conversation around what the Bears have right here that to me, like I'm looking at how people are reacting to Andy, and it's like, no, there's a plan here. I can see the plan.
I
I
just
can,
don't like the plan.
we don't like the plan.
I don't like the plan.
We don't like the plan, and we don't like the execution of the plan. I don't
Hmm.
like the listen. Here's my thing: if Andy Dalton's just started, get him some reps. Why aren't you getting Andy reps? Why are you giving him 21 snaps? Why are you? But the biggest thing that I dislike about the plan is the no competition. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, have a competition with your team. It's a competitive sport. Everything about the game is competitive,
That's also
unless you're
brings
at Bears camp.
this also brings up the confusion of preseason. Like, you know, a lot of people say preseason doesn't count. Defenses are vanilla, this, that, and the other. But then teams really are judging their entire starting roster on preseason at some point. Outside of your mainstays who you know are going to absolutely start, we're
Yeah.
judging it based on it. So that's why I get so confused as to preseason and I think I'm losing you there, Pat. Preseason and the importance of it and stuff like that, because realistically, the starting QB for us would have been determined off preseason games. The starting QB for a lot of teams, it's determined off of a competition in preseason games.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder: is preseason not as you know
Here's
irrelevant
here's
as we
here's the thing.
make it seem?
Here's the thing with preseason. You have to take it with a grain of salt. So, like in the Patriots situation, or in a situation where you're bringing that guy in to start, you want to get those reps in. You want to make that decision based on what you're seeing, but also based on the fact that, listen, I'm probably not going to get my starter out there with a ton of competition. The defenses aren't going to be as tough. With what the Patriots did, Mac Jones got time with the number ones and dominated. Cam Newton did not. Mac Jones had one of the now here's the caveat: greatest preseason in history. One of the greatest at a minimum. If the other guy is having a terrible preseason, I got to give you that look. Now, does that mean that Mac Jones is going to go on to be a better quarterback than Justin Fields, better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence, better quarterback than Trey Lance, better quarterback than Zach? That's yet to be seen. But at a minimum, I got to give you that look. The same thing happened with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got out there and had an amazing preseason. Matt, what was it? Who was it? Matt something, not Matt Ryan. I don't know why I got Matt Ryan on the brain. Oh, because I was watching the Falcons the other day. Matt Schaub, was it Matt Schaub? I believe. He didn't.
Kale's is going hard with the all caps. Now we've seen the comment. The chat has seen the comment. We don't care about the comment. Like realistically, it was one play. When you show me a string of plays of him getting blasted by a defense, then I'll say Justin Fields not ready. It was one play. Now, was it something he should have saw? Sure. I give you that. Everyone's talked about it, but it was one play. It was one play. Give me multiple times in which it happened, because he had multiple times for it to happen. It didn't happen. So chill. Like, we get it. But that's a very, very, very bad assessment on one play.
I
Him
mean,
going, him not leading his receivers happened on multiple plays. Everyone saw it. We see it. They need to
yeah.
address it. Everyone addressed it. Boom, we're good. Him getting blown up on one play. Welcome to the NFL. All right, we're done.
And listen, if we talk about getting blown up on one play, Tom Brady's been blown up. Drew Bledsoe's been blown up.
Tom
Aaron
Brady has a
Rodgers
whole
has been
broken leg
blown
that's
up.
got blown up. He got.
Look, Aaron Rodgers has been blown up. Everybody gets blown up.
Matt,
He got
Aaron
blown up
Rodgers
early.
killed, dog.
You said what?
Aaron Rodgers used to go out there playing Killer Man, like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like Brett Favre's career ended on him getting blown up. Nobody goes back and says, "Oh my God, Brett Favre was a terrible quarterback."
No, he can't read that defense. Look at that.
And listen, y'all already know Matt Flynn. Shout out to Sean, Matt Flynn. That's what I was thinking. I said Matt Schaub. The guys are going to get hit, especially behind this offensive line. If y'all think there's not going to be a point in this season where Andy Dalton don't get hit, you are sorely mistaken.
He's still doubling down. I love it. Hey, listen, Mac Jones has a better offensive line too. Moving on. He does have a better offensive line. He does.
Oh, way better offensive line. Like
it's not even close.
But
Mac
that's
Jones
what I'm
going to be able to take naps behind there.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who's behind the line because the line is bad. The line is we're going into the season, the line is going to be bad.
And now that's why you throw Fields out there. That's why you do it.
If anything, if you're going to have a reason to throw Justin out there, absolutely, because he helps that offensive line be better. But there's credence to Justin is not ready because Justin did have a game where, I mean, he was the starter in that Tennessee game versus 2s and 3s. He had 36 yards before that touchdown pass. That touchdown pass came when? Was that end of first quarter?
Second quarter, I think.
Was that a second quarter?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like listen, hey, those weren't Tennessee's best out there. Those were maybe a starter here or there just to test him out, just to get him some run because maybe he's been hurt in preseason. No, that was the 2s and 3s, y'all. That was 2s and 3s. I want Justin to play well, but we have to accurately assess what we're seeing. Justin Fields made it tough on Matt, but he did not take the job away.
Hey, I know we're coming into the home stretch. I know we didn't plan on going past 6 or something like that. So let's talk about some of the other cuts. We saw Ridley get cut, things of that nature. Let's jump into that real quick and maybe touch on some slight bulls before we hop out. Is that all right?
Yeah, I'm with it.
All right, cool. How you feel about the cuts, man? I want to get your opinion on it first because for me, I was like, I guess. But then I also thought Ridley was serviceable because we are losing targets.
Here, Ridley, Newsome, you have to, especially Ridley, mostly Ridley, got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And you know why we love Rodney Adams? Catches the ball.
Mm-hmm.
At a minimum. Now, Daz is a little tough for me because I'm like, you really didn't get to see anything he's doing. Now they're hoping to get him back on waiver wires. You know what I'm saying? Like they're hoping to get him back after he clears waivers and get him on a practice squad. They're not looking to let him go completely. They're hoping to have that Adams kind of development from him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about catching the ball in situations, in game. It's not about doing it in practice. You can look as good as you want in practice. It's about, can you catch the ball when Sunday comes around? As far as the cornerbacks go, the DBs that the Bears have let go, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, you cut a lot of people today, but did anybody that was cut really stand out to you? You know what I'm saying? Like there was nobody that the Bears lost that I was like, that he has to be on the team.
Chris Lance, he got cut.
You don't even know his name. Who that is?
Jawain Johnson. I know who he is. He played for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The
DBs is probably the most concerning. I probably would have kept more DBs just because
Charles Snowden was cut
because of depth. I said I probably would have kept more DBs because of depth.
Yeah.
And True Font really, I mean, I probably would have kept True Font because of experience. I don't understand cutting True Font. More so just because he's been in the league, he's been a professional, but he didn't impress. There was no play out there that I was like, yo, True Font still got it.
Yeah.
Like, you're keeping him because he's a guy that has played the position and can do it. Doesn't mean he's good at it. It means that he can stand out there and he understands the terminology.
So realistically, we're gonna get blasted because we're cutting corners. Cool. All right.
Cutting corners with what?
That. Like,
you talking about the Bears?
yeah,
Hey,
we're cutting
listen.
our corners.
Hey, look, and now here's back on you. That's your boy messing up the cap. That's your boy. Going out there paying Robert Quinn big money to not hit nobody and come in injured.
Wait.
That's your boy.
They didn't say that this was a cap reason they all get cut.
It's a cap reason that you're not able to go out and get guys who wouldn't get cut. It's a cap reason that when you had guys in the room that already understood the system, and listen, I think that the defensive line will be better with Sean Desai, which means Kyle Fuller would have played better. It's a cap reason that you had to get rid of the guy that, even though last season, I don't think that he was nothing crazy, he was still way more serviceable than most of what you have right now, except for one player, all of what you have right now. Jalen Johnson may be excusing. If the cap is in order, you can go get pieces that actually will stay on.
I was about to say, I was just looking at that. I'm like, they didn't cut True Font because he wasn't serviceable. They cut it because he wasn't at camp. I don't know if I'm in that situation. I make that call. I don't know if I make that call because of that. Because who are we gonna get?
Hey, nobody. That's the problem.
So me, I don't make that call. I mean, hey, listen, it's a death in the family. I just had one. It's a tough thing to power through. Yeah. It's a very tough thing to power through. It's hard to have these conversations when you're thinking about that, let alone play a game where you're getting hit. So I'm like, I don't know.
I mean,
my question is, why is Matt Nagy the one answering these questions and not Ryan Pace? Because Matt Nagy is the one that submits them to be cut.
Absolutely. Look, so you gotta have 53.
Get your boy. That's what you tried to throw it to me. Get your boy. That's your boy.
Hey, did Matt get provided with competent cornerbacks? Do we feel confident that the cornerbacks that we kept on the roster, other than Jalen Johnson, are going to be number ones or number twos? We got a bunch of threes, maybe.
The reality of this situation is the only glimmer of hope right now is the simple fact that we are potentially having a generational quarterback, hopefully a generational talent in our quarterback. But outside of that, this team as a whole is a lot weaker than it has ever been, especially on the defensive end. Wouldn't you agree?
No, because you still got Khalil Mack. He's got to get home, but you still got the best guy in the league at, well, probably top 2 at getting past the guy in front of him. You got to get home. You got to get home, but you've still got one of the top 2 guys in the league at getting past the guy in front of him.
Mm.
So Robert Quinn's terrible. Hopefully he's able to show something, anything this season, any sort of pulse. But I mean, listen, and here's the thing. We talk about this team as if like we are at the bottom of the league. Hey, this roster hasn't had super turnaround. This was a playoff roster, not a pretty playoff roster, not something it's a playoff roster. Guess what? The year before?
I don't remember the last time we made the playoffs in a pretty fashion. Like nothing about this team has been pretty.
I was gonna say 2010, but no, we lost a lot. We went, what were we, 10-6, 2010?
Even when we made the Super Bowl,
the defense was pretty.
That defense was pretty.
We've never had a team with a pretty offense.
We never.
We've never.
So now that we finally get a pretty offense, we have all these liabilities on defense now.
Yeah,
and a bad offensive line.
Oh, for sure. Look, and the offensive line has to be addressed. But we're sitting here. We're sitting here
pissed off that cursed us. I just want to know. We got to go apologize.
hey, look, Ditka.
That's what we did. We insulted him. Did we
It
throw
was
him out the stadium like he was a Knicks fan? Did
it
we
was
do
Dick,
that?
it
Like,
was Ditka and Buddy Ryan. Ever since that
yeah,
split, we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen anything. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Nah, I mean, listen, there's a lot to be concerned about with the Bears coming into this season, and I think that especially with the quarterback conversation, you know, the conversation at a minimum, Bears fans root for whoever's out there. I'm not saying that you have to
Like
agree
that.
with them being out there. I'm not saying that you have to like them being out there, but at least root for the C.
I like
Unless
that.
you're Justin Fields fan. If you're a Justin Fields fan, just it's okay to admit that too, by the way. Like it's okay to be like, nah, I'm a fan of this player, not the team. That is okay in today's day and age. Guess what? I love Luka. Not gonna root for the Dallas Mavericks. I just like seeing Luka.
I'm a
I'm a
Dame
fan of the
not a
player.
Portland fan. Yeah,
You love Dame Lillard, not a Portland fan.
not a Portland fan.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's players in the league. Listen, I love Tom Brady. I hope we beat him every time. But it's great to see greatness happen.
Hey, listen, when Tom Brady rolls into the city, I'm a Tom Brady fan. I ain't gonna lie. I like to see it. I want him to win as many rings as he can. I just want to see somebody do it. I want to see someone do it.
Nah, I want to see. I want to see. I want to see my Bears win. I don't care what it is. Like no matter what. I don't care. I don't care if we got the worst team in the league. I will always root for my team to win. I don't care if we are like I'm not one of those people that can cheer for the tank unless you're completely out, like you're not even trying.
Yeah. Nah,
like the year that I was like tank 4 quarters for Michael Porter, Bulls weren't even trying. Like it was just like, dog, are y'all even come like if the organization says, hey, we're tanking, all right, let's tank.
But tank don't try to win the game.
Well.
Put
Don't
the
tank
whole
bad.
second string out. Put the whole bitch out.
You know what I'm saying? The Bulls just tank poorly.
You know what it is for me? I just like seeing history be made. And Tom Brady is right now, he's walking history. Like Tom Brady has been winning so long.
Yeah.
I've been a kid I was a kid in 4th grade when he won his first one.
Hey.
I am married with 2 kids now. He's still winning championships. That's how long it's been.
Tom Brady's been winning so long that he's been on enough Maddens for his player to finally start looking like him. You know what I'm saying? He's been on enough Maddens for his player to finally start looking like him.
If my kid makes it to the 8th grade and he's still balling and he's still winning championships, I get to say that this man transcended a generation. Not only did he transcend a generation,
fam, people have died since Tom Brady has come in and continued winning.
Dog. That's a little dark.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
That's a little dark.
All right. I'm just saying, though, your empires have risen and fallen since Tom Brady has come in.
Hey, real quick, 2-minute drill. I got a couple questions for you. Ready?
Go ahead with it.
Bulls over and under 42 wins.
I'm gonna take the line. 42 even.
42 even. Okay. Bears. Justin Fields starts before game 5. Over and under.
Over.
Andy Dalton throws for 3,000 yards. Over and under.
Over. I'll take
over 3,000 yards.
I would take the over on that. I mean, Mitch had 3,000 yards.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that one. Okay. Bulls get Boogie.
Mitch might have been real close.
I think he threw for 3,000. Bulls get Boogie.
Bulls get Boogie. I think they're gonna lean more Paul Millsap because AK's had experience with him. But I would rather have Boogie than Paul Millsap.
Okay. Pat Will starts.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
The Derrick Jones. No, listen, go look around, and I've heard it. Professional contact on that one. Derrick Jones is pushing for a starting spot, and it might actually work out. Over and under.
Hey, well, that's not an over/under question, but
that's you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no. No.
Last minute. You got any questions for me?
Last minute. Where's Cam Newton land?
Washington.
Oh, that's not a bad team. Dallas pursuing heavy too, though. Let's see. One more. Let me get one more before we get out of here. I ask you. Well, you said over under on that. Dang it! Why you put me on the spot? I had no questions ready.
Okay, listen. You got to be ready. This is the field we in, baby. I will say this though. Tell everybody you got any announcements for the fan base. Got any announcements for what we're trying to do? Any leagues that you're trying to get the squad in? What you got for them?
Well, first things first, Bears merch is out. Y'all see I got the Bulls merch on right now. The Bears merch is out on the website. Y'all can get in tune with that by checking the link in the description below. twcbreeze.com. Go cop some Bears merch. Get yourself right for the season. The other announcement, there's going to be a fantasy implication put on this year. We will announce the full details on that at tomorrow's show. But I'm telling y'all right now, it's going to be some good stuff for the Bears, or for the football season. Oh, that's a good one. Time for it. Will the Bears make the playoffs this year?
No.
Oof. I'm gonna say yeah. They're a playoff team last year. I'm gonna say yeah. And I can't cheer for them not to. Like, it makes my season depressing. Yeah, we got.
Here's the thing. Here's a caveat. Not only they do not play they do not make the playoffs, but Fields starts the second half of the season.
Oh, here's a question for you, and this is gonna be a tough one. Would y'all rather? This is a bit from Waddle and Sylvie, Carmen and Yurko, all them on ESPN 1000. Actually, this question's from that. Would y'all rather have the Bears go 11-5 with Andy Dalton, or they go 6-11, but Justin Fields has a Joe Burrow type season?
Does he get the same injury?
No injury. That's Jesus, dog. You gotta be cool.
Okay. All right. My fault.
Jesus, 4 red games. Take it easy, brother.
11-5.
Okay.
11-5 does more for Justin Fields than 6-11. I mean, well, yeah, whatever it is.
Okay.
A winning season helps him more because now he gets to see a QB prepare for the playoffs, and he gets to see what that's like first season.
You get to see the
and
system
Andy
work
on a 1-year contract.
You get to see the system work. Yeah, man. I think that's pretty much all we got for today. Like I said, we're gonna have some major announcements tomorrow. So y'all get in tune with us tomorrow. We're gonna lock in on that. Fantasy wise. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always. Like I said, cop some merch. Kid, you got anything coming for him?
I definitely got some things coming for him. First of all, I want to say that my fantasy team is better than yours. I don't know if we're gonna have time to talk about that tomorrow, but my fantasy team is better than yours.
We're gonna get into it tomorrow. We're gonna get into it tomorrow. We're gonna get into it
tomorrow. Are we gonna make the big announcements tomorrow?
That is my plan. We'll have a conversation on it though.
I hate when you do that. Okay, just roll with it. Just take the helmet off and say I am Iron Man. Like come on. But man, listen, we got another live tomorrow. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We're trying to do these more spontaneous lives, more helps the channel. Everyone's rocking with us. We appreciate you all. Again, it goes to do this daily. Thank you all for those who supported. Thanks for the super chat, man. Just love to be a part of the community, man.
As always, man, this is the only show that's talking Chicago sports, hot Chicago sports talk. So make sure you get in tune with us. For my boy P.Kidd, Mr. Petty Casanova, I am Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Hey, yo, Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.